I saw you walk by.
Were we in Queen of Peace?
Nope. The church. Sherman United Methodist.
Yes.
You were doing it. You walked like this. You went this like I knew it.
Oop, can you take the picture there?
I'll keep it.
Showdown. Oh my god. Okay, I feel like it's really okay. I love you. Bye. Love you all. Peace, girl. Thank you for coming. Bye. We never know. Wait, carrots. Yes, whatever. Are you saying for the
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying.
I was just going to give you a heads up that we're
I want to go. I already got to skip it. I'm not going to. That's why I didn't go to school. I'm like by myself. No, I'm going back to school. I'm staying. I probably shouldn't go to the WAC. I'm going to go to the WAC and play volleyball. You're not going back to school? There's a microphone. Where? I put the flowers on. I feel like staying so. Definitely in the back. You can go by Isaac and like Elliot. Wherever they go. No, you don't have to. Just go in like those chairs back there. Like this front like five. Okay. Like the ones that are in the middle. Yeah. Like the ones that I don't think like I want to say go by and she's so bad. Guys cry the entire time. But I want to stay out. Is this your speech right here? No. I don't even know where my speech is. Guys, I'm scared, bro. I think it was like really bad. Because it's like family. Something else like that. It's just not the sports. Tina, come on. Tina, come on. That jit. That jit. Oh my. Dude, can we take a trip to my car so I can get my Starbucks? Yeah, I don't need to. And rate it. Does someone want to come with me in my car? Whoever wants to keep on. To get what? To get my Starbucks. First, I can like sit here and stay outside. Oh, I like where you sit. I'll sit. I'm not missing this. I already did. I had to second one. Hard. I did do it. I didn't go. And I had to. So even if I went That's what I do. Is your phone got there?
Before that,
I know, same thing. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just try. I feel like the next Guys, this happens like every year. No, but this happened last year, but I think actually. Oh no, but guys, there's one more. If you search it up, yeah, it's like this. You mean like actual like. Yeah, but it's not because I don't know. It's not. You don't have to take that. You don't have to. You're not gonna have to. What is it called? This was we don't get. Hopefully, guys, I found the keys. If you're wondering. Yeah. You guys can leave if you want to leave. You don't have to stay. I want to stay.
I can't see her.
No. Avaro and Riley and Gia are all coming just for the funeral. So you guys have actually met him. My mom's grandma. That's That's awkward. Nothing. My feet are really hurting. Like bad, like
Walk
bad.
without gloves.
You know there's a funeral here because they're playing video games in that room? Owen told me that.
She is going to get her.
You have our sympathy.
Nicole has completely been by her side. What would she do without me? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And
You guys don't have to record this
Is it a
one, or like take a video.
half the times because she keeps talking about how sick he was.
You don't need to try, I just really want to like
They're great. You gotta remember those times.
if you want to. Just sneak it. Don't make it look obvious. Like what I'm saying, don't make it going like because then I don't want those I don't feel like what
Yes.
in my mind. Yeah. You don't mind. You guys want to
Okay, thank you guys for coming.
So where are we supposed to end it? Just wipe it out. Okay.
Summer reserve. Oh, he's right. Brandon Owen.
What was that?
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
The first like 2 lines are just me saying like, I left you shit and never see you. And then it says, I've heard it. Just like this. It's like spread out though, because like it's dyslexic. Okay. It says, many of you may have known that I'm beyond grateful to call it's a yes.
We do that. See, like the little.
And the first thing that you would say is sweet. And
Well, she is in a assisted over at Gossip House, and she does not get out of that.
I will never forget when you called me beautiful and told me to never be afraid to choose my dreams.
Oh, yeah.
You told me that no matter what, you'd always be proud of me and support me. I always care about my future and the soul involved in my sports. And I could never join in my myself on the couch telling stories and sharing memories.
I mean, her mind is good.
TY.
She loves her baby.
She just can't go dancing anymore.
And it's such a shame that she was down
Yeah.
Have you seen Judy?
That was her bar. Yep.
when the bar was burned down, and she had been there late that night. She had helped clean up, and they had an interview in the paper, and she said, "My bar burned down."
Like it was her own.
She spent a lot of time there. Then she went to Arlington.
Well, good to see you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind. I just do. I don't know what you mean. When you sign like a guest book, it's like say your name and then your address. Dude, he actually was a kid. When he was younger, I was like, back then,
I learned to be kind today.
so we were singing it.
You singing it?
Cooking high. What is that?
It's so nice. What are you
Don't search it up. Don't search it up.
It's not that. It's not that. She turned around and like, yes.
I'm gonna sit by mom.
And then she was like, I don't know what to say or not.
Because Kara's will probably go by Ellie, because it will probably be like Isaac's friends, Isaac, Ellie. I don't know why. Like all of us.
I guess like,
So if you leave here, exactly at 12:30, fifth hour ends at 12:36, so like you'll have 6 minutes to get to the middle school. No, fourth hour ends at 1:30.
yeah.
Fifth hour?
Oh yeah.
What time is your science test? What hour?
We have a science test.
It's kind of hard.
We also have, I have a Spanish test. And then I already took my vocab test free.
I don't have a vocab test today.
You did?
I didn't take my body. We got our words this week.
Wait, no, it's the next meeting. We took 2 essays.
Oh yeah, I just spoke about it. Bro, it's not even hard. Just do it. I did random ass random tests. Or you can I did it. Just looked at that. If a couple of you want after we're going like Windsor, like there's new food stuff. Like only like a couple people. If a couple people want to go, it'll be like there'll be like memory boards and like food. Oh, Tyler's birthday.
But you're not sure though. What, you? Yeah, I'm going back to school. I'm going back because I feel so bad. Yeah, I feel so bad. I feel like so it's illegal. You have to send your kid to school. Like your personal,
Or you have to do
or you get to go to court and
Dude, I told my mom I'd finish it this year and there. I was like,
Mr. Bond said he would be the old one.
Mr. Bond's like his real.
I feel like I've seen it.
I just don't see that.
Just even the ones that are
I hate
sitting.
I want to live here for 13 hours. But is he at his house right now?
I'm actually my
Did anyone see Broken Bunny? Did you see him this morning? Did anyone see Broken Bunny? It looks like he's at his house. Because normally it says he's... Yeah, but I have his wife. So it stays like that. Why does it say Ellie's on the side? It says or yesterday. Bro, my ear, she's fine.
Oh, you're going to talk with you.
She screamed. She had to fix it. And when she got her card, she went like this. Bro. And I was like, no, that's not what it is. I was like, oh, this is really not that hard. I got on the Deerfield. The medal is in my body. Baby medal. Yeah, she was like,
Like that. Those are really big fence or that's exciting. It's the deal in front of you.
oh yeah. Why are you guys
There's something about the rest of this. I'm trying to
Same one.
just all these sitting in the back. Just all sitting in the back.
Is that Amelia and Alpha?
Probably, yeah. I thought they were one of those that lived down there.
I don't care.
I forgot.
I'm really not.
Windsor? No, it's the one by, we used to work.
Oh, hi.
Isn't that a song? Isn't that a song?
Yeah, no problem.
You can recite it. You're recast. Oh, then I'm.
What happened?
Actually, my dad got home already. Well, after my class, I was not here.
Yeah, Miss Pilzer keeps putting me as I'm skipping 7 hours.
You get marks and absence and you have a pass to go to a different class. So I had to go to like social studies because I didn't work on my thing and I had a pass, but she's still marking me absent. So I was like absent.
It's also at least like secret up north. You know, it's like every class teacher said, "Let's find it." I kind of want to I want to talk about it.
Why did
Hey ladies, just let me know.
Where are we going this time?
Did I put my swatch there? 'Cause I don't want to. Is this the first one? Yep, okay. Let's see how many fridges. No coolers in that one. Turn the aux on. Thank you all, family and friends, for being here, for traveling the distance, and for your love, support, your presence, and prayers. This has been a difficult journey. Today we honor George Francis Trotter. And first we'll start off with a song from Jeff Engel, God's Wink.
God's wink is calling you just to say hello. with you now, forevermore, and everywhere you go. When something happens you can't explain, every now and then, a coincidence is God's hand reaching out again. So open up your heart to Him, you've got too much to lose. Pray to Him, sing to Him in everything you do. So open up your heart to Him, you've got too much to lose. Pray to Him, sing to Him in everything you do. God's wink is a simple way of telling you He's there, surprising you, telling you, saying how much He cares. God's wink is calling you just to say hello. He's with you now, forevermore, and everywhere you go.
So now we're going to have some words of comfort and some words shared by his family. I call up Dan, his son, to start us off. Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
Good morning, thanks for coming. You know, I would just like to say, my dad left a great legacy, and I think you can tell that by the people he knows, the connections he made throughout his life. And I've always looked up to my dad my whole life, you know, really wanted to be like him. And I would like to share just a few stories, hopefully not long stories, about, that taught me lessons, you know, about, that that stayed with me. Sorry about that. The first thing is show perseverance. When I was about 5 years old, we lived in Rhinelander. My dad was he was a forester and always in the woods. And he led a scout group. He had some Eagle Scouts in that group. And one of the tasks they're required to do is winter camping. And it sounds like a lot of fun. So, winter camping in Rhinelander. Intense. Okay, so the camping went well, but then overnight it snowed. We got about 18 inches of snow. This is before cell phones, before, you know, really good communication. We were probably 2 miles from Mini Road. So we decided to hike out. My dad had, snowshoes, the big wooden snowshoes from working in the woods. And I had boots and snow pants, and the plan was to follow him in his tracks, you know, because he's breaking track. So I can remember it was a very short time before I started complaining because this was hard work. There's a lot of snow, and my legs were pretty short. So I started complaining. I remember him saying to me, "Well, Dad, can you carry me? I can't go any further." He said, "Well, I guess you'll just have to stay here." And I'm like, "Oh." So I walked. I kept walking. And all I can remember the longest walk ever with snow all around and looking down and seeing my boots going and my snow pants going. You had the snow pants that they were not quiet back then, you know. So, well, it just seemed like forever. but we made it. We made it to the road. As soon as we got to the road, the plow came through, the car was free, we were able to drive off immediately. And it ended up being a really positive experience. It was scary, but positive. But it really taught me perseverance, I think. I mean, some of you know I used to do, I can't do it anymore, but long races, marathons and such. And I just never had the idea of quitting. And I think he kind of put that in me. So I think that applies to many things in my life that I tried not to quit. So that was important. He was always positive, this is the other thing. And I think he made me more optimistic. He was an early riser, and throughout the years I was growing up, and he wasn't always quiet about it. I don't know why he had to vacuum my bedroom at 5:30 in the morning, but he got done. Yeah. But having teenagers in the house now, I understand why you might want to vacuum somebody's bedroom in the morning to get them out of bed. But anyway, he started every day. This is when we lived in Windsor Hill near the forest. He started every day going on the back deck and saying, "Good morning, world," as loud as he could. All the neighbors knew this. This is every single day. Probably about 5:30 or 6 in the morning. So he got a little bit of a reputation around town, but it's just that the way he started his day was positive. It made you feel positive. And so that was a great lesson. I think too, he was genuine. I think a lot of people, I've heard that word several times today. He was a student of Dale Carnegie. I don't know if anybody knows that. He was in sales for many years, and so he did a course. And Dale Carnegie has these great ideas. Learn people's names, use their name. I'm not very good at, I try to be good at that, it's hard. Be a good listener. Like, when somebody, try to ask questions, let people talk, do the talking. And then be genuinely interested in what they have to say. Listen to what they have to say. I think he was very good at that. Also, don't criticize others. And I don't remember much criticism at all. I mean, he'd point things out that you might be doing wrong, but usually it was in a positive way. So I think those things really helped his sales career and helped him make a lot of connections throughout all his clients. He cared about people. He once told me that a lot of salesmen try to make the biggest sale they can, get as much money as they can. He said he tried to look for the longer term perspective. And if somebody was buying too much, he thought they were overcommitting, spending too much, that might hurt their business. He would say, "I think you should hold it right there. You can always call me and order more if you want." But he had the perspective of keeping them in business because he knew he wanted to visit them next year. So it just shows he cared, and I think we all know he did. Also, I really respected the way he finished his life. I said to somebody, I think he stuck the landing. I mean, he kind of knew when things were coming to an end. He knew he couldn't do what he wanted to do. He made a decision, and it was really hard for a lot of us. And I'm a doctor, so I want to fix things all the time. And this is something I couldn't fix. I didn't have any ideas on that. And he saw that coming. He made a decision to go into hospice, and I think this allowed him to get together with everybody. Many of you saw him at the end, and he ended up saying he had a full, rich life. Like I said in the obituary, it's what he strived for, what you work for. And I think he felt complete. So if you could do anything, that would be one thing you'd want to do. So, but so many connections with family, and you can see it's so meaningful to all of us. And I have other stories I can tell you. But mainly they're fun stories. We have a lot of positive thoughts from our life together. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan, for sharing that. Next, we'll be hearing from George's grandson, Sam.
Hi everyone. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for coming today. Honor this and remember this great man. If you knew George, even if you only just met him, you understand I'm not saying that just because he's my grandpa. he truly was remarkable in every way. As my dad had touched on, he truly had a gift for connecting people, just looking at everybody in the room here, and could make a friend really out of everyone. He always kept calm, cool, and collected too at our family gatherings, which if you've ever been at a Trotter family gathering, you probably know. There's usually some kind of chaos that's ensuing, but he was kind of like the glue that kept that all together. So he was definitely slow to anger. I think the one exception might be we decided to play a prank on him and pretend that we had eaten his last Fiber One bar. At the time, I didn't understand why it made him so upset, but as I'm approaching 30, this makes more sense to me now. So it's probably warranted at the time. But some of my fondest memories are just moments that we spent together, especially going down to Mississippi and spending time on the lake, tubing or fishing bluegill. I remember spilling, I think, like half of the live crickets all over the boardwalk, which was exciting. Trap shooting for the first time with him, and then camping trips with him and my dad. I'll say he never seemed like other grandpas that I knew out there. I don't know, he kind of held on to his youth the whole time he was alive. He's always had his big smile, sense of humor even in the face of pain, and really just lived life with grace. I aspire to live that same way, hoping to carry on the legacy that he left behind. So thank you, Grandpa George, for everything. And I'm deeply honored to share his name. My middle name, George, it's a name that I'll always associate with kindness, strength, and love. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Sam. Next up is Jill, George's granddaughter.
Hi everyone, I am Dan's eldest daughter. My name is Jill, and I'm really grateful to see all of you here today, and it's so wonderful to see all these familiar faces. It's a great comfort, I think, to all of us to be together today. Yeah, I remember my grandpa in so many ways. He was fun, he was a cheerleader, and he also just faced life and death with peace and courage. So I just want to reflect on a few of those things. He was very fun, and like any good grandfather, he made you question your reality a little bit, like in a good way. I'm very gullible, as I was talking with my sister before this, we were both very gullible, and so one of the stories he would tell us that I literally confirmed this morning, I was like, that wasn't true, I just want to make sure. But he would say that when he was growing up, they would have to eat a bean and attach to a string and pull it back up and pass it along. And as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds awful. And like, even this morning, I was like, I really don't think that's true, but maybe it is. Like, so I don't think it's true, but he just was very, he was just very funny like that. He also liked to try to tell us good old bones stories, which I don't think I ever actually heard one, because he would say old bones and I would scream and run inside. Like, he tried to tell us around the campfire, and I don't actually know what they are, but I know he attempted, and I'm sure other people heard them. But so he was just very, very fun. But he wasn't fun in a way that like denied reality. He was very grounded, and just especially the last few years of his life, and the last few years with him, he was just such a good cheerleader for me and for all of the grandkids. I just would hear him talk so positively of everyone, and he would pull me aside at family gatherings and just be like, I'm so proud of you, like, keep going. So I will always keep that with me, especially for those like hard, ordinary moments, like parenting or just doing your work faithfully or just showing up for people. He just really saw those things and would cheer us on in them. So I want to remember that for myself and for all of us, that he's cheering us on and his word would just keep going, keep doing it. And then finally, I just was so impressed and aspired to reflect his legacy in how he faced life and death with peace and courage. And I mean, we all have to face death at the end of our life, and it's hard and it's scary. But he was just so brave, and like so at peace about all of it, and just so satisfied with his life and his people. So I wanted to just read, there's a passage in the scriptures that remind me of him, and I wanted to just read it as kind of a blessing of his legacy and for all of us here. It's from Psalm 37. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. The meek shall inherit the land, and delight themselves in abundant peace. Thank you.
At this time, we'll hear some scripture from George's daughter, Nicole.
That's right. Revelation 21:5-7. He who was seated on the throne, I am making everything new. Then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. He said to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty, I will give from the spring of water of life without payment. The one who conquers will have his heritage, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. This is the word of the Lord. Thank you for being here today to honor and celebrate the life of our cherished father, George, known to many of us as Papa. Papa, oh Papa, he truly was the man, the myth, and the legend. He was a remarkable man whose life was defined by faith, sacrifice, and an unwavering devotion to his family. Papa made countless sacrifices for his family, most importantly leaving the warm comforts of Mississippi to move back to Wisconsin, simply to be closer to his loved ones. His love for family was boundless, and his faith in God and Jesus was the foundation of his strength and kindness. Here is a minute snippet of some of our fond and cherished memories. Papa was indeed, he will deny this to this day, but he was there for a UFO encounter. It was in the late 1990s, after one of Brandon's football games off of Richards Road in Lodi, Wisconsin. He denied it to this day. Spoiler alert, he claimed he wasn't scared unless you count making me and 18-year-old college girl sleep on their master bedroom floor just in case the aliens were real. 2 weeks ago, we literally laughed about it again. He, to this day, has never admitted what we really saw, but let's be honest. It happened, he saw it, we know it, and somewhere an alien is chuckling too. We had spontaneous trips to New Orleans and Gulf Beach. They were always legendary. They always included a hurricane cocktail at Pat O'Brien's, beignets for breakfast, and very scenic strolls down Bourbon Street. Let's just say he loved the scenery almost as much as the people watching. Papa had fun, and in NOLA, the entertainment always came to him. Papa introduced us to the bayou and the swamps of southern Louisiana. So many amazing memories of gator stalking, small town gas station visits for biscuits and gravy, and the best ever catfish dinners. Our trips to the condo in Orange Beach and Gulf Shores were always legendary as well. Strolls along the beach, dolphin watching, pier walks, visiting Foley Outdoor Mall, and never ever missing a meal at DeSoto's. Not to forget, the one and only trip I have had to a Hooters restaurant was per Papa's request. He asked that I chaperone Brandon and Jesse merely for the wings because they were so good in Alabama and it was part of the culture. You're welcome, Papa. Took one for the team on that one. And in case anyone's wondering, this took place over 20 years ago, so please no judging. Badger Tenorski superfan. Papa sacrificed LSU and USM football to become a Friday night Norski fan. He might have been streaming the games from his recliner, but he was always the largest cheerleader. Bird whisperer. With bird feeders constantly stocked, Papa turned his backyard into a 24/7 bird buffet. Goose Pond was his version of an amusement park. Papa had a knack for finding the perfect furry companions, like picking out a poodle in a Walmart parking lot, welcome to the South, and rescuing Marty, sorry, Myron, and rescuing Marty, a pup all the way from Puerto Rico. Papa loved his four-legged friends as much as they loved him. Now Marty is heartbroken. The poor little guy hasn't left Papa's blanket since he passed, proving that even dogs know when they've lost the best human around. A master of sacrifice, as I mentioned, he left the South, his perfect garden, and his friends, all to be closer to family. He sacrificed his love of Hattiesburg for family. He sacrificed his beautiful home, his impeccable backyard. He sacrificed his men's group, his church, all for the sake of family, to be close to us. He made sure his sacrifices came with one reward, more family time. For Papa, it was merely about family. Isaac and Janae, you were supported and loved beyond measure in every way. Once moving back to Wisconsin, Papa attended every sporting event he could, from elementary and middle school baseball, basketball, and football, onward to varsity track and football, and cheering his grandson on Isaac from the comforts of his couch via streaming. Papa was never going to miss a football game. Though he couldn't make it physically this year, he was always there in spirit, and oh how he loved Friday night lights. He'd count down the days and minutes until kickoff to watch Isaac. He patiently waited for updates, replays, and film clips. Whether he was in the comforts of his home, the hospital, Oakwood Village, shout out to them for helping stream the games, he was and will always be a Norski fan. Isaac, Papa wants you to keep leading. Don't give up. Papa is and was one of your biggest supporters. He's looking down on you smiling. Make him proud, as I know you will. Continue to be the leader and not the follower. And Janae, my goodness, you too. A bond you can't put into words, what a duo. You had Papa wrapped around your finger. And between us, he loved it. While able and in better health, Papa was Janae's Uber driver, picking up and dropping off weekly dance classes with the always mandatory stop at Wendy's or Burger King. Afterwards, because she was starving. The Uber app was never needed. No Uber, just Papa, always to help out. Again, always present, always there. When Papa was confined to his chair and had a difficult time with mobility, he was always asking to see videos of her serving, setting, sprinting, jumping. Always wanted to see your athletic talents streamed on the TV. You two had something special. Your bond was something I can't put into words. You know Janae and he knows. It was truly one of a kind. You two were the yin to the yang, double trouble, partners in crime, and you were truly his sweetie. Papa was a man of deep faith, and his life reflected the words of Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Papa's faith gave him strength, comfort, and purpose, and he shared that faith with everyone who had the privilege of knowing him. Papa's life was truly a race well run, a fight well fought with all of his ailments and medical complexities. And yet he always had a faith well kept, as it says in 2 Timothy 4:7-8. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award me on that day. Papa, your children, Dan, Tammy, Kelly, Bea, and Brandon promise to honor your legacy. We, and all of your children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, give you our word and promise that Mimi and Marty will be taken care of. We love you always, and though we're jealous you beat us to heaven, we take comfort in knowing you are at peace, you are without pain, and you are now embraced in the loving arms of our Heavenly Father. Until we meet again, we love you. You are, and always will be, the man, the myth, and the legend.
Okay, now it's time to hear from George's granddaughter, Janae.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Janae. and thank you for being here today. Many of you may have known him as George, but I know him as Papa. I am beyond grateful to call him my grandpa, and he made such an impact on how I live my life. One thing I will never forget is how I would walk through the front door of his house, and the first thing he would say to me was, "Hey sweetie, how was your day?" I will never forget when he would call me beautiful and tell me to never be afraid to chase my dreams. He told me that no matter what, he would always be proud and support me. Papa always cared about my future and was so involved in my sports and academics. I loved going to visit Mimi and Papa, whether we were sitting on the couch telling stories and sharing memories or making whipped cream snacks with sprinkles. I will remember how we would always go on drive to the Goose Pond, then get a bite to eat after. Playing I Spy on our drives to Uncle Jeff's house, going to State Street and looking at the college campus, searching for golf balls in the backyard, and having Papa tell me about his wild days at LSU. Thank you for listening to our presentation on why we should get Marty. We knew you needed him, and you listened. I will never forget driving to Minnesota to pick him up from Puerto Rico. But the fact is, no amount of time you get with someone you love is never enough. I'm beyond grateful for the 14 years I got with my Papa. This is going to be the longest see you later I will ever have to say. Yeah, how beautiful it is to love someone so much that you will wait a lifetime to see them again. Papa, you are the bright light in this world and the best grandpa a girl could ask for. I cannot wait to give you a hug when I go into heaven. Thank you for your unconditional love. Thank you for loving others like Jesus did. You make life so beautiful and so worth it. I've learned that grief is just love with nowhere to go. Yet how amazing it is to grieve someone who is so loved. I made an impact on everyone he came across. So for now, Papa, as you always said, I love you more.
Next, if Jeff would come up, George's brother.
Good boy. Hi, everybody. Wow, I had to follow his beautiful memories there, everybody. You did a great job. I gotta put on, thank you for the glasses. All right, well, yeah, George went to Dale Carnegie. My dad put me in Dale Carnegie too. I can't remember now. I went to Dale Carnegie. He put me through that too, but I think I ended up with a D minus. So, so this not might be as good. But anyway, I have a lot of memories. 68 years. A lot of memories of my brother George, and I want to thank everybody for coming. Yeah, I'm his younger brother by 15 years, and a lot of people would think, well, that would keep you separated, or you might not be as close, but that wasn't the case for my brother George. I was blessed to be raised in a wonderful family, my mom and dad, and I had siblings, my brother George, Tom, Jim, and Linda. You know, we were all very close. Through all the years, we on the phone or get to see each other on certain occasions because we lived in different parts of the country. But we always were all close. And I thank God for that. And George, I'm gonna try to do my best, buddy. But yeah, my brother, even though he's 15 years older than me, always had time for me. Took me in one time when I was 4 or 5 years old. He took me inside the LSU stadium and let me play on the football field. And he let me score a lot of touchdowns. My sister Linda was pretending to be the cheerleader on the sideline. And you know, that's something I always remember. You know, and I don't know how he got in there, but we got in there. paid the guard off. I don't know. But yeah, he graduated forestry at LSU, and then when I got older, I had a young family. We moved to Sun Prairie, and we were really close by then. And I was kind of out there on my own, but he always had time to take me deer hunting, fishing, duck hunting, pheasant hunting, and always kept me, you know, let me be involved and kept me around. And I really appreciate that. I have one story, I don't know. I have a lot of stories, but one time he took me smelt fishing up in the Upper Peninsula, and he was nice enough to give me his waders, chest-high waders, okay? And it was cold, so we're there 3 or 4 days, and we're drinking Blatz beer and probably had some type of food that would, you know, be conducive to gas, I guess. Anyway, so, all right, now we got it. So yeah, we were drinking Blatz beer and having, you know, stuff that, you know, I say conducive to gas. I don't know why I always have to talk about this stuff. But anyway, I had his waders on like for the whole 3 days. It was cold, you know, and so we got back to his house and his two friends and they're all sitting there, and I was about time to get back his waders. I took off the waders. And like a green gas come out, and I took him off. He picked them up like this and went over and dropped them in the trash. Never to be used again. Anyway, so yeah, you know, we also had our annual. For about 7 years, we all went up. Some of the kids and all the brothers went up fishing at Chippewa Flowage, and that was good. Every year we did that for about 7 years, and I really enjoyed that. We always had stuff, you know. We always came back with some kind of thing when on there, you know. But also, he was. No, I could use my glasses. He was always interested in what you had to say. You know, he was like I've heard genuine. He loved a good story. He laughed. He's easy. You can make him laugh easy. And his eyes would kind of go like that, you know. Yeah. I don't know. And every time I talked to him on the phone, he never had he never had a bad word to say about anybody. I never heard him say one bad thing. He was so proud of his family. If somebody did something, an achievement, he was with enthusiasm telling me. And you know, down to Isaac, you know, Isaac started getting involved with your football team, and you know, I told George, you better go to Alabama. So anyway, you know, so I mean, but he always he was really genuinely interested in what you had to say, and he loved his family dearly, everybody, and never had anything bad to say. He was a very successful salesman. And I believe that's because he was genuine. And my dad always said, you always be a success if you're sincere and honest. And he was honest, he was sincere, and he was genuine. And but I think he was more successful because he loved and he was loved. And he was loved by all of you, and he loved all of you. And that's what makes a successful man. I can see right here, that's success right there. And all I know right now, I know he's up in heaven. I know he's got God's wrapped him around as all as his love, and he's on a lake somewhere fishing. And there's a nice sunset, and he's having a ball up there, just catching all kinds of fish. And that's all I have to say. I miss him very much. I'm already missing him now because I haven't talked to him this week. You know, I'm just used to talk to him every week. But he's up in heaven, and he's my second dad. I lost my dad. Mom when I was 32 years old, and he became that person I needed guidance, and I just love him dearly. So thank you very much.
George was a man who truly embodied the spirit of random acts of kindness. One such act was opening his Mississippi home to a young football player from Alabama who was new to town. Over 20 years later, the bond they formed remains strong. In honor of George's generosity and the lasting impact he had on Myron's life, we'd like to share a special message from Myron, and we'll listen to that now.
An open letter to Mr. George. I wanted to always look you in the eye and express some things to you. I wanted to write this letter as the best representation of that at this time. First of all, I love you. I know that it has been from a distance. I've always been told that unexpressed gratitude
having some technical difficulties.
I can read it.
You can read it?
I'll read it.
Why don't you come up here?
Excuse me.
Thank you, Myron.
If you give me a moment, I have to find it. I didn't think that I'd be up here. I didn't think I'd be here. But thank God I'm here. And I'll do my best to get through it. So if you just bear with me as I try to find it. Sorry. My apologies. Technology, huh? You know how that goes. Please do. That'd be good.
So we're gonna go a little bit out
As
of
long as I
order.
don't have to sing it, right?
No, you do not. Please don't. So we're gonna go a little out of order, and right now, we're gonna listen to Amazing Grace.
Okay.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I
to Mr. George. First of all, I love you. I know that it has been from a distance. I've always been told that unexpressed gratitude is ingratitude. I'm so thankful to know you. I'm taken aback as I reflect upon the events leading up to meeting you and Miss Jeannie. I was a big but small in mind black boy who came from a racist divided town in Alabama. So my ideas of love, togetherness, family, unity was simply being with the people that only looked like me. As my family and I navigated through the dismissive undertones of racism and divisiveness within the town, I thought it would be the same coming to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So my pastor in my hometown, also not knowing any better, looked online and saw that there was a local Lutheran church in Hattiesburg. He was also well aware of the racial tensions in the town and knew I could be in a similar situation in Mississippi. So with all that being known, my family and I came to St. John's Church with all the conflicting thoughts in our heads and hearts. Lo and behold, we ran into you and Miss Jeannie. I'm sure Miss Jeannie could see the look of concern and worry on my mother's face. Looking back on it, I can now remember the tension in the car ride to church. So from that day, you inviting me into your home was something I could barely wrap my small mind around. Being a husband and a father now, I understand what leading a home entails. Mr. George, you taking me and allowing me to be welcomed into your home was a pure act of love. I'm forever grateful for it. This gesture also opened my mind to love, transcending the simple idea I had. Your love transcended my thinking. Your love transcended my ideology, culture, and upbringing. Your love showed me that I was closed off to the world. You showed me that love can transcend race, upbringing, culture, and pre-exposed surroundings. I'm forever grateful and thankful that you opened my heart and my eyes to the world. You opened my heart to receive love from others that don't look like me. I don't walk with the same judgmental mindset. You helped change my life and prepare me for the world in which I am currently in. Currently, my life and career thrives among diversity. In the school system I currently teach at, there are over 70 nationalities represented in the population. I'm able to relate, counsel, teach, mold, mentor, and most of all, be the example that you were to me. So when I encounter any student, parent, or adult who has that same look of concern that my mother had years ago, I can truly be the light that God sent you to be in my life. As tears fill my eyes as I write this, it is with a thankful heart and a love spirit that I honor you in this moment and always. I love you, George.
Myron, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. I feel like you're part of the family, so we're so glad you're here. So if you know the Lord's Prayer, we're going to do it now. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. At this time, the family invites all who are able to join for a reception down at Lake Windsor Country Club. Together we will continue to honor and celebrate the man, the myth, and the legend, George. Thank you all for being here.
I've seen it